Hey everybody, it's Kelly. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Therapist. TikTok is everywhere, reaction videos are everywhere, and this week I'm going to react to some of them for you. As some of you know, recently I subscribed to a service to help me to market my channel a little bit better. And one of the things that it does is it suggests topics to me. Gay TikTok is suggested to me all of the time. Also, it's suggested to me fairly frequently by you, by people on my Instagram. I've heard you. Here we go. I have already seen all of these videos. Here's why. The main purpose of this channel, beyond giving people a place to be together and to meet one another and to be safe, is also to educate and to help with mental health concerns. So I've had to be really careful with the ones that I pick because my authentic reaction is what you're going to get. And I do not want to offend, but I want to educate. So here we go.
When I feel that touch of a man, it gets me excited when he runs his hands down on my thighs, and then he gets a tight grip all on my cheeks, and then he kisses me on my neck. Boy, you know just how to make me scream when you give me a spank. You're always in my dreams, and you're all that I think about. Boy, come around here some more. I need your claw in my back.
Okay, so when I talk about representation, this is what I mean. I mean, in every aspect of everything that we do as a society, there should be queer content. Queer country songs? This is amazing. I'm all for it. If you know who wrote this song, let me know, because it's amazing.
I am not a party gay. I'm a sofa gay. You could actually say I'm a homosexual.
I love dad jokes. I love the fact also that we're normalizing here that you don't have to be going out and partying and meeting people all the time in order to fit into the queer community. There's been a really long time when the party idea was so big for everybody. And if you didn't do that, you didn't have a lot of ways to meet each other. A lot of that's changed. Social media has changed a lot of the ways that we connect with one another, but the idea that you need to be out and meeting and being in the presence of other people can be a lot of pressure. So I also appreciate the normalization of the fact that you can want to stay at home and be with your people and not go out and party and still be a valid member of the queer community. Also dad jokes, so. Okay, if you understood the number of very famous queer people that met in these kind of circumstances, you might be astounded. It is amazing to me to think about the number of people who were sent to a church camp or sent to an all-girls school or an all-boys school, and that's where they discovered their queerness or really lived into who they were as a person, orientation or identity-wise. Which takes us to our next one.
My pastor asked me one time if I'm attracted to guys. I smiled and said sometimes, but girls say different. If I try to talk about it, you gon' look at me different. Try to tell me what I feel isn't God's intentions. He was quiet for a minute, then he said it's okay. You keep praying, serving God, and these feelings will go away. 8 years later and ain't nothing really changed. I just learned to suppress and bottle up all my shame, but that's the name of the game, right? Long as you don't talk about it, we'll keep handing you this mic. We don't wanna hear about that struggle, keep it private, cause it's a touchy topic, so it's better if you silent. Meanwhile I'm fasting, steady getting skinny, asking God, why don't you change me if you hate the way I'm feeling? They said I needed faith, they said I needed discipline. You'll start wanting women when you go through some deliverance. So I did, but everything in my body, learn to hate the sin and especially my body. Couldn't seem to love what they called abomination, cause the difference from the sin is it's my orientation.
There's so much there. First of all, let's just talk about how unbelievably talented this artist is. Secondly, the things that they are sharing about what was said to them by a pastor and by leaders in religious communities is such a familiar story to people.
If you work hard enough,
if you pray enough, if you fast, if you ignore it,
then you can still be upfront and you can still be loved by this community.
You can still have deliverance from anything you want as long as you obey God.
Because this can't possibly be God's will for your life.
That message has harmed so many people. And to see somebody taking that message, sharing it authentically, and explaining why that harmed them, there's so many emotions here. It's so empowering to watch. It's sad. It's tragic to think that someone has to go through that. And it is tragic to think of how many people are still going through that. If that is your situation, I am sorry. It is not okay that people are making you feel like less than human because they don't understand something. Like this artist said, if you are someone who believes in sin, there is a difference between sin and your orientation. Who you are is good. And don't listen to people who try to tell you otherwise.
Ew, girls. I don't like girls. I like boy. I like men.
First of all, no one gets to ask you about your sexual preferences, okay? That's not a thing. You never have to answer that question, but that's funny. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever gone through a time where you're so unsafe to tell people who you are that you just flat out lie as best you can? Yeah, I think we all have. The message here is the reminder that that visceral response that this person is having to giving that statement is indicative of the fact that it's not true.
Stupid horse, I just fell out of the... Oh no. Stupid horse, I just fell out of the...
Okay, this video is everything that's wrong with bi erasure in one. First of all, the stereotype of what bisexuals are wearing or dressing like or listening to or doing with their hair, whatever, so dated. Also, to imply that real bisexuals don't exist, pretty offensive. I have alluded in some of my videos to the fact that the gatekeeping within the queer community is pretty strong. And by pretty strong, I mean excessively strong. And the problem is there's so much outside of the community that is telling people you're not valid, you're not real, who you think you are is not who you are. All of that happens outside the community. When we're together, when we're talking about one another in that kind of a negative way, that just gives people more ammunition. That does not express the kind of support and validity that we're all chasing ourselves. It's not okay that in 2021, queer people have to chase validity. It's not okay. Also, maybe on another level, even less okay that within our community, we're doing that to one another.
It's cool. I've turned a couple lesbians straight in my time.
No, you haven't, actually. Here's the thing. You can't turn a straight person gay, and you can't turn a gay person straight. People's orientations can fluctuate. Who they're attracted to can fluctuate. That's internal. That is not about the people that they are with or the people they are not with. This is offensive. This is gross. This is immature. This is the bad part of TikTok. So this next video, I came to this video on a reaction from a queer TikTok content creator. This person, I assume, is not queer, but that's why I'm playing this video.
Don't tolerate a sexless marriage. A lot of people will tell you that sex isn't important and it's not a big deal and blah, 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 blah. Don't put up with it. Don't put up with a sexless marriage, okay? Don't. Get out. Change it.
Okay. So there's a lot happening here. Again, this is another video that I came to by a queer content creator responding and basically telling him to shut up, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Out of curiosity, and because I enjoy a good TikTok rabbit hole like the next person does, I went on his TikTok, which took me to his Instagram, which took me to his website. This man who calls himself coach, whatever, he calls himself relationship coach. He has no credentials posted anywhere. I don't know what kind of credentials he has to call himself coach, but I wanted to use this video as an example. First of all, to really highlight the erasure of the ace community within straight anything. A sexless marriage is not a sexless marriage isn't a real thing. Here's why. Because the amount of sex you're having in your marriage is between the spouses involved. It's about conversation. It's about understanding your own needs. It's about communicating your own needs to your spouse. It's about having those conversations before you even get married. And as things change and as your lives change, continuing to have those honest conversations. Telling someone to leave a marriage because they are sexually unfulfilled without giving any other caveats to speaking to the partner, to understanding your own need and where that that comes from, to growth as a human being and understanding of who they are. It could still lead to leaving the marriage, maybe, but it doesn't have to immediately. The reason I bring this one up is because there's a lot out there on TikTok especially of people who are uncredentialed giving advice as though they are an authority on the subject. No, I'm not talking about me. If someone does not have their specific credentials in order to call themselves coach, doctor, whatever, if you cannot find what their credentials are, they are probably not somebody who you should listen to with an air of authority. For entertainment purposes or whatever, okay, fine. The authority people are handed by using titles like this can hurt people because they're saying things that do not actually fall in line with any kind of ethical practices anywhere. There's a reason for credentialing, and we could make a really good case about the fact that credentialing is bias and one-sided and elitist and classist. And all of those would be pretty true. There's a lot of arguments to be made there. That's a different video. But the bottom line is, for your own purposes, doing the research into the people that you are listening to and taking advice from is super important. All right, I need a palate cleanser, so we're going to go to this baby angel. If you do not know this woman, you should look her up.
The dishes, he doesn't do the laundry, he doesn't go grocery shopping. If I hear him say he's tired one more time when he did not get up in the middle of the night with the baby, marry a woman.
I mean, I did. This woman in this video is a lawyer and she is married to a woman. They're actually living their life close to where I grew up. She has started this huge conglomerate of lawyers and other professionals who are queer supportive and who can help people in the queer community, specifically families, to navigate through all of the mess of things that are set up to make us having families and being protected difficult. But on the topic of that video, I want to make the encouragement that I don't care who you are, you should be listening to and supporting your partner. If you don't, you should consider maybe where the relationship is going. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and give me some more people that you want me to react to. I will do that again. And I will see you next week for part 1 of our Purity Culture from a Male Perspective series. Until then, have a great week and take care of yourselves and each other.